Hello my friends, you're watching the Ahistorical Gamer. Today we'll be playing Ageod's American Civil War II, and we will be playing the 1861 campaign as the Confederate States of America. And so here we are. The die is cast. April 1861, just outside of Charleston Harbor, Fort Sumter. The Confederate garrison under PGT Beauregard here has assembled to bombard the fort and force it to surrender. Unfortunately, this is ahistory, and I have an alternate planned in mind for Beauregard and his forces, which means the local militia are going to have to take the fort the old-fashioned way by push of bayonets and a good old-fashioned assault. They're going to have to swim across and storm the fort, which is very much unfortunate, but it is how it has to be. Our objective lies elsewhere, because we want to win this war. Get those blue bellies on the run. Do a forced march now. With Beauregard given his marching orders, it's now time to get the Confederate blockade runners out to sea. If you want to know the most effective strategy pursued by the Union during the American Civil War, it was the Anaconda Plan. It was the blockade of the South. However, in 1861, the greatest enemy of the South and the most effective agency in maintaining the blockade was not the United States Navy, it was the Confederate government itself, which insisted on the delusional plan of attempting to embargo the European nations and refusing to trade cotton with them under the insane belief that by refusing to trade their king cotton, that would then in turn compel the European powers to declare war on the Union. And by the time this ludicrous policy was abandoned, it was much, much too late. The Union blockade was very well set up both in the Gulf of Mexico, the Atlantic, and also around Confederate port cities just offshore. There was a blue water blockade and there was a brown water blockade. Speaking of cotton, let's head over to Mexico. It is possible in this game to export cotton bales through Mexico. They will act as our middleman and thus take away a lot of the profit that we would have got had we exported it ourselves. However, it is a secure and stable form of income, and so I'll be doing just that. We are not going to make the Confederates' historical mistakes. We are going to win this war, win our independence. Now over here in El Paso, I'm going to develop the local territory. I'm going to win the hearts and minds of the people. And then, when Sibley undertakes his New Mexico campaign, we will be much better placed in terms of infrastructure and logistics to make our push not just to Santa Fe, but to the silver and gold mines up in Golden City and near Denver. Moving northward, we have our covert action campaign. We will be supporting demonstrations in the north in all of the major Union cities, and that should hopefully undermine both their ability to wage, finance, and materially provide for their war effort, along with gaining us some valuable intelligence. Back to the south now. It's time to improve our infrastructure to increase our own ability to provide for our war effort. Now, here's a joke. Do you know the most populous and second most populous cities in the Confederacy during the American Civil War, the most populous city was New Orleans, and the second most populous city was whichever city the Union Army was besieging at the time. So, here we go, next turn. Okay, we took the fort, took some casualties as well, lost 92 men. That is relatively light. Took most of the guns intact. Well done. Good siege, good siege. Let's just confirm. Yeah, those losses are actually remarkably light. And that'll give us a lot more options. Now, unfortunately, Beauregard is a little bit behind where I was hoping he would be. Well, maybe not too far behind. Cavalry's also dragging a little bit. But what we're going to do is we're going to have these guys, Joe Shelby, link up with them. So you can redeploy to Livingston. Virginia has now seceded from the Union. Going to take these guys. Then they can then... Where on earth is it? Gone too far now. Too far. In Winder, you can come over here and join them. Actually, I might pinch Rugel's back. Might pinch Evans, or do I want him? No. These guys, on the other hand, can head up to Clarksburg and hopefully assume command of any Confederate forces in the area. Everyone else, we're off to Manassas. Let me see. So, current events. Fortifications have been begun on our national capitals. We cannot yet form Army Corps due to historical difficulties and inexperience with using such large units in both American armies. And finally, Fort Sumter bombarded. Well, no it wasn't. Historically, they may have bombarded the fort for 36 hours straight, but this is an ahistorical playthrough, so we took it by storm. Virginia secedes from the Union. Yes, outstanding. And we are well on our way to being where we need to be. Now we can have some additional demonstrations. It looks like the demonstrations in Baltimore may have failed. Oh, maybe the ones in Philadelphia did too. Shoot. And here comes the time for Jefferson Davis, the infrastructure builder. That's what we're going to be remembered for, if nothing else. One of our blockade runners apparently failed as well, so we'll have to send another one. Got caught by those darn Yankees. I do, however, remain confident. We're off to take the Norfolk Arsenal. Historically, the Norfolk Arsenal actually provided an awful lot of the cannon that were used during the siege of Fort Sumter. And to add to the A history, we'll prepare for Confederate D-Day, moving on Salisbury and eventually Dover. Whereas in the north, we'll push through Harper's Ferry and take Fredericktown. It's going to be an 1800s blitzkrieg. I'll also move a couple of my units out. Okay. Is there a need for cannon? There is a demand for coastal defense batteries. So I'll add a little bit of troops to the infantry supply. But our primary goal will be to pass taxes and issue war bonds. Historically, the Confederates wanted a war that they didn't want to pay for. But oh boy, are they going to pay for it. Moving on. Here comes May. Yep, we have successfully landed off Cape Charles. We'll push on. Actually, if I push directly for Dover, that could be an outstanding achievement. Now we have in fact seized Norfolk and its arsenal. I'll set up some engineers to cover Cape Henry and Hampton Roads. Most of this material, however, needs to go to Manassas, including the heavy siege support weapons. Now Bushrod Johnson can take command there. Army of the Potomac can also get in on the action. Now up here in Alexandria we have General McDowell getting ready to lead his attack on Manassas. We are entrenching here with the Manassas Guard. We'll begin constructing defensive works. We'll launch another set of demonstrations, probably in Philadelphia. Everyone's got to keep digging in. Now, as for recruitment, safest bet is probably beginning to get as many Virginians as we can. And I'll try to ship them across to Dover as soon as I get the chance. Also probably want to, yeah, we definitely need HQ support for Manassas. They can help train the army. And I don't want to put out a signal company just yet. Except maybe down, in El Paso. We'll begin the New Mexico campaign early. Supply wagons, do I want to move on that immediately? Maybe not just yet. I will, however, recruit a Texas brigade with sharpshooters. And I'll also get a Rangers unit. Recruit some in eastern Arizona. and the rest can form in adobe wells. So I probably also want a unit of Texan Cav, or should I say Texian. Get very fancy there. We just also see, can we get, yeah, we can get 1 unit of New Mexicans. And we can also recruit some state militia in Montana, at Rolla and Jefferson City. So that makes us reasonably secure now. State militias have formed up. Do I want Marines? I actually probably do. And I suppose I'll recruit these guys in Williamsburg and they can cross across and hit for Salisbury. Decisions. As for additional troops, actually, what I am going to need is over in Jefferson City. A signal company. I can only get it at the roller depot, really? And that could complicate things a little. But I guess I can roll with it. I can roll with it in roller. Let's see, do I want anything in Texas? I could get them 1 cannon pretty easily. Yeah, let's go with that. Get a 12-pounder. Also maybe get some cav for Virginia. I'm just wondering if I want to go with a heavy infantry approach, which I can't quite afford now because I've spent all of my dough. Maybe I'll focus on heavy artillery. Yeah, that's it. I'll get the Columbiad artillery. I'll get 2 of them. And I will focus on ultimately making the Confederate Army something that will win by quality over quantity. Also probably want some medics. Let me just check. Yeah, I am a little bit short on artillery. So I need to do replacements for everything first. I can probably wait 1 turn before I replace my elite infantry. So at Clarksburg, Floyd, you're out, you're a terrible leader. These guys can assume command. First Virginia Cav. So these guys here can rest up. So everyone should be resting and refitting now. Final job is to try and maneuver the supplies up. Actually, what I need to do is to get this fleet moving. Sounds like we're going to have a little bit of background noise. I'm sorry, everyone. There's not a lot I can do about that. Let's bring the New Orleans fleet up as well. Nope. Here we go. And now we're going to link up with this force. Good. Shelby can take command. Where's Winder? Wow. Those horses took way too long. And this could really mess up my plans as well, unfortunately. I'm also going to have to abandon the supply wagons. Can I make it any faster? I can maybe trim a day by doing a forced march. So I'll do that. See if I can get these guys there. 22, so it'll basically arrive at exactly the same time. Well, I'll try and move up and get there. You can only do what you can do. Alright, let me just quickly do one more check. I can export some cotton. Because we need that moolah. Got to buy our guns. Let's see what McDowell's doing. Oh, they've changed commanders actually by the looks of things. Is that Commissary Banks? Alright, so they sent one of their elite units up to make an attack, which wasn't very smart. They hit our supply wagon. Oh my goodness. But on the bright side, they have strayed way too close to our main force. We have been on the kind of losing end of this, but this means that we'll actually be able to bring out our main force much earlier than was originally expected. So these guys would normally be locked for 2 turns. Because they done goofed, I actually get to use these guys right now. Let me just see, so I need to bring down the total value by about 6. I could just have them all fight, but I think it's a little bit safer if I do it like this. So we will aggressively engage them. I've also got a chance to recapture my lost supplies at Fredericksburg. I don't know why they were even headed via Fredericksburg. They should never have routed that way. But whatever. Time to continue my naval invasions. These guys are running a little low on food, but I'm sure we'll find food in Dover. And we'll win some political points. So moving back to the Western Theatre. Yeah, my Rangers are in position. Hopefully, I guess I can't recruit any more Rangers just yet. I can recruit one here, so I'm going to push up. I'm going to start besieging Fort Craig. Whereas from Adobe Wells, I'm going to begin my push on Forts Garland, Forts Lyon, and eventually I'm going to push up to Golden City and take the gold mines there. So insurrections, yeah. Let's foment some dissent in Golden City, shall we? Export a bit more cotton. Just gonna see if, yeah, I might improve the roads down here. Still not an incredible amount going on. I definitely need to increase my units. We seem to have just about enough guns, at least for our line regiments. We'll also, however, be wanting to create a Confederate infantry brigade for Jefferson City. And I need to get these militias out and active as quickly as is possible. So North Carolina has seceded from the Union, and John Magruder has taken command of his small force. I really, really want to destroy the Washington Brigade. If they get added to a division, they could actually cause some real problems for me because they are an inspiring unit. I do, however, have no intention of allowing that to happen. Actually, I can get cavalry in Montana too, and that would be a wise choice. Actually, let's get some medics up. So, that looks like a pretty good turn. Hopefully Beauregard will engage. Come on, Beauregard, get him. Get him. No, looks like the Union backed off. There is firing going on. Got some problems here. So we are besieging Cairo, but we've lost a lot of organisation. So I'm hoping that we can somehow take it. But I admit it's not looking great. Just trying to move my supply up as well. I'll also try and link up with the rest of the ships. So Magruder is here. Okay, so the Washington Brigade seems to have made a pretty bad mistake and moved right on top of, well, they've gone to ground in Fredericksburg, essentially. Actually, rather than focusing on the militia unit, I'll take the more regular one, and I'll probably, what I can do is I can send these guys north, no, I'll move these guys up to, man, even that's kind of difficult. Alright, I guess I'll move on Fredericksburg, but as an independent detachment. As for the other detachments, I'll send one across the water and they'll participate in the naval landings. And the mountain men can head for the hills. I'm very sad that I didn't manage to do any damage whatsoever. But, you know, we're in a well-fortified position. So I guess I can't complain too much. Just see how old Pete's doing. I might actually put the Army of the Potomac in with the others. They can keep training up. It does sound like a plan. I'm hoping I don't get an attack launched into Fredericksburg. That could really cause problems for me. But I'm fairly confident I can deal with almost anything else. Let me just see how everything's going. Alright, so I need a little bit more light artillery. Supplies are fairly reasonable. Actually, I don't really want to add any new light infantry just yet. I might also make one more signal company. Can Texas get another brigade? Texas can get one more brigade of sharpshooters. That's excellent. So I'm going to move up to Fort Craig. I'm going to rejoin the siege there. And make sure that cavalry gets into position. Yep, I can recruit more rangers now, that's great. Okay, they can go inside the building. Put my next rangers up here. And more New Mexican volunteers, more volunteers from Montana, which is even better. So that's two, hang on, how many is that? 3, good. 3 units here. Can make some units for Tennessee, but maybe not just yet. I might save them. So going back to Virginia. I think I will continue the naval invasions. I will have to withdraw that whole mess at some point, but for now it's an absolute propaganda coup for me to be taking all of these areas. So I need demonstrations. I'll probably do one in Baltimore. Have I got cotton to export? Yep, more cotton. More cotton, more money. I'll declare martial law in Clarksburg, probably. Actually, I won't. I will declare it in Charleston. Moving a little bit further south. So I still have a tiny amount of funds to spend. I am wondering what exactly to use it on. Actually, I can get another Montana brigade, so I'll do that. Get a second Montana brigade. That's great. That's great. Our units in Montana should do really well. I probably should have gotten a second signal company for Montana because I'm putting so many units there. But honestly, for now, I'm happy. The St. Louis massacre. Union infantry violated Missouri neutrality to seize the St. Louis arsenal, the largest supply of weapons in the West. They arrested the state militiamen who were paraded as prisoners through downtown St. Louis as a public humiliation. Inexperienced Union soldiers clashed with hostile civilians, injuring or killing a large number of men, women and children. The idea of remaining neutral is now out of the question. General Price has been assigned to command the newly reformed State Guard to secure Missouri for the Confederacy. Okay, so Price can take command of these guys. He can head towards Lawrence. Mound City and Lawrence will be our 2 primary objectives. Other volunteers can move along the fort line. So we can secure Springfield. Actually, focus more on rear security like Springfield. These cannon, on the other hand, can move up. Move the supply wagons up to Jefferson City. And these guys, who I have no idea why they're here, can head for Texas. Jackin's death. That's a horrible misspelling. James W. Jackson was the owner of the Marshall Hotel in Alexandria, Virginia. He was also a prominent secessionist. He commissioned an 18-foot Confederate States of America flag, which he flew from a 40-foot flagpole atop his hotel. The flag's size and height meant that it was visible in Washington, D.C. On May 24th, Union troops occupied Alexandria. Colonel Elmer Ellsworth of the 11th New York Fire Zouaves Regiment was determined to capture the offending flag. Descending from the roof with the flag, Ellsworth was ambushed and killed by a shotgun blast from Jackson. Jackson was killed in turn by one of Ellsworth's troops. Instantly, the North and the South each had their first martyrs. We will avenge the death of Jackson. So it's spelled right there. Okay, that should be it. Right, last bombardment there. Actually, can I send some units? I can send some units from Nashville as well. So they will join in. Got a garrison here. This, however, should allow us to move some men up to Fort Henry. Alternatively, up to Humphreys. And that should be our turn. Let me just double check to make sure. Good, good. I've got one more blockade runner squadron ready to make a run for it. I need all the blockade runners I can get at the moment. Let me just see if the Interior Ministry is doing anything yet. I could also try and build some arsenals in Georgia, which I think I will do. Okay, let's do it to it. I really am hoping that they push on Manassas. Okay, we made a good... Oh, that's beautiful. We absolutely stomped on them there. 2-1. We took the location. Looks like there's a bit of fighting around Jefferson City. Okay. And it looks like they've also moved in to try and block us. We'll be operational in 7 days. Don't quite have the combat readiness yet, unfortunately. So I'm going to merge these units. I'm afraid for the moment I'm just going to be obliged to just try and hold roll up. Try and move some units in here. Okay, Mound City's fallen. Lawrence is still holding out. I'll probably swing my cavalry around and try and push the Yankees out of Jefferson City. Take Fort Scott as well. So over here, so Hollins has taken command of the fleet. I'll try and sneak them past St. Louis, and then I'll do a naval bombard in Jefferson City. For now, I'll just try and sneak past. I won't try and engage in any big actions or do anything stupid. Actually, they have their own troops in this river, so that makes things a little harder. Alright, well, I'll have to be aggressive and I'll have to try and sweep through the river now, knocking out any units that may be there. I'll also have to tell these guys to hold at all costs. Wasn't my first course of action, but it's how it'll have to be. Wow. That's a lot. Okay, Brewer Cavalry. I'm going to send them over, try and... wonder if I can just route. It's such a long way though. Kansas State Militia. Texas Rangers Brigade has formed. Oh no, Texas Cav. That's interesting. That's because we're getting raided. Just wondering how long it would take this thing to actually get. 48 days, well, it's worth a try. So they're raiding around Gainesville. Honestly, I'm inclined to just send the cavalry to just a much more conventional mission. Nothing fancy. So, who's running a little low? The Rangers are running a little low. So basically just telling these guys to hold at all costs. Got my signals company coming up. Second signals company is on the way. I'll probably have to build another signals company down here. I'd like to do it in Jefferson City, but my men just aren't ready. Okay, we have captured Cambridge. So we couldn't make it to Wilmington. We're getting engaged by local militia. I will try to hold on as long as I can, but the US fleet is coming out. It's a shame I can't get sea mines at the moment. That would be pretty dope. I will build defensive works in Cairo. I'll export some more cotton. They've got balloons. Man, that's just too much. So I'm attempting to besiege the Washington Brigade. I might actually... oh. Right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So I will take command here. Beauregard can hang on. Looks like I have too many. Did the militia not cost anything? Oh, what? I'm confused. Right, anyhow, that's pretty well locked down. They've taken Harper's Ferry. That's a bit of a blow, I have to admit. Could try and move on Washington. Could also move to try and hold Winchester. Decisions. Actually, what I might try and do, I might try and cut off their supply. We've got too much artillery there. Yeah, I'll do that. I won't shoot. Not ready yet. Okay, so everyone's happy now. Got some more militias forming. I might just move across to Leonardtown rather than doing something truly intense, but I can use that as a jumping block to get to Cambridge if things are going well. Right. Get more cavalry in Montana. Start purchasing some more light infantry. Oh, need more light guns actually. Well, I guess one will have to do. So interior. There's got to be a nice easy one somewhere. Virginia and South Carolina seem good. Good locations for that sort of thing. I'm surprised how strong the troops are around Metropolis, but they must have pulled that out of St. Louis. So St. Louis is weaker. Well, anything interesting happening? All states mobilise their militias throughout the Confederacy. That sounds about right. Winchester militia was just annihilated. Mind you, we got one of their gunboat squadrons. And it looks like we got one of their militia units. Okay, and they tried to escape here. Okay, so that was a good trade. That was a very much worthwhile trade. Oh wow, but look at that. They're sending masses of troops this way. And wait, are you idiots trying to run away? Spotsylvania. Oh wow, so they're actually here. I'm actually really angry that they tried to back off. Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe if I just... Actually, yeah, let's fall back on Richmond. This could secretly be very good. I'll let them push forward, and then hopefully we can lure them into some kind of trap. So we could try and push for Little Creek. I could move up north. I think I'll try north. I'll rest here one turn. Shenandoah Force. Annapolis. Could take a swing at Baltimore, or I could even go for Wilmington. For now, I think I'll play it safe. I'll go for Harper's. Wait a second. Morgantown's exposed. Yeah, let's go Morgantown. No, I can't. I can't because I don't control the rail line. Alright, Harper's Ferry. We will secure the rail line. At least try to. And there are so few people there. Can we do it? This guy got a penalty as well. I say let's push for it. This is far from ideal. But I think we can, I think we can, I think we can, I think we can. Oh boy. Sending some troops over there. Probably make some cavalry in Virginia. Situation in the west. Good, our artillery has arrived. We'll probably bombard anything that follows the river. And these supplies cannot take a break. Okay, state militias are up. Bowen's brigade. So these are the guys who are going to win it for us. Heading out west again. Right, who has food supplies, who doesn't? Okay. And supplies are going to be an issue, I know it. Okay, the column's ready, or nearly ready. Okay, polka's here, interesting. Maybe Polk can take command of the Jefferson City forces. Alright, let's go for it. I'm tempted to just, maybe if I strike out with Jackson. Yeah, let's push for it with Jackson. Push for Morgantown. Oh, we actually hammered the passing ships. Ah, they're counter-attacking. It's not good. Yeah, we got badly beaten there. But, win some, lose some. Oh, fall back, guys, come on. So we push them out of Morgantown. Looks like they have some kind of garrison there. Some of my units are looking kind of low on food, but we've got at least one more turn of food. Think I'll try to maneuver that. Good, good, good. Okay, so I'm still holding Dover. We're going to have to do evacuations now. I'm hoping they haven't worked that out. It's literally the most obvious thing ever. But I'm hoping they don't. I don't know why my units keep switching to the offensive. I mean, I know they are in kind of hostile territory and they do it at a certain point, but let's see, get these guys. Get in there, boys. Philadelphia needs a riot. It's high time. Situation in Boston, 31% Confederate support. Time to build up New Orleans so Beauregard doesn't have to. Upgrade some of the infrastructure. So we are doing a pretty job keeping them pinned here. It's pretty good. That's the 100% one. Who is running out of food? Oh, it's the signals officer who's low on food. Fort Garland is in our hands. Time to head on South Park, then Golden City. Oh wait, the insurrection failed. Okay. I'll abort that for a little while then. I might send some troops up to Bloomington. Because I need to draw men away from St. Louis somehow. Need some Texas Cav. Probably some North Carolina cavalry would be good too. Probably another signal detachment. Once I'm done with Morgantown, I'll start swinging back, and hopefully I'll take Alexandria, I'll pin McDowell and Nathaniel Banks, and that, with any luck, will be the winning plan. Union cavalry. My. So someone's moved away from Metropolis. Actually, I better not do a naval landing until I really am sure. How bad is the situation in Charleston? It's not that bad. Texas Reaction Force, eh? Well, I can happily misappropriate that to go up this way. What needs to be recovered? So we're short on light guns, short on light infantry, and that's basically everything once we're done. Alright. What does the Interior Ministry and the Treasury say? What we can get very cheap. Tennessee, Mississippi. Alright, let's do it. There's been a good bit of back and forward in this game. What the? Okay. Yeah, they outnumbered me quite significantly, apparently. 1-1, Confederate win. I'm happy with that. We continue to reduce the forces around Morgantown. Ah, that's glorious. Yeah, they are not going to recover from that anytime soon. Oh, look, it's McClellan. He's come up to participate. Man, what a mess this is. So I suppose I could put some men under Jackson. Just give Jackson the cavalry. Artillery is probably better for the defensive. Oh man, the Laurel Brigade, yeah, give that to Jackson. I'm wondering if they will try and counterattack us here. Should be able to promote Jackson 1 level. How long would that take us? 9 days. Might get the fast train. Actually lose the supply wagon. Need to build up the depot. good. I think if I ferociously hold my ground, I should be able to hold Harper's Ferry. Heinzelman's moved into our rear areas. Let's get rid of the two worst performing guns. Right. Man, they're not even that strong over in Dover. Really do need to fall back. Wow, what? They came right outside. Well, if they want suicide, I can provide. Okay, 100% military control, that's good. Okay, Fort Craig has fallen, the garrison has surrendered. Means we can press on to Valencia. Okay. And, oh, hang on, they captured Dallas? What? Well, I will have to deal with that. Jefferson City can also get a command unit. Demonstrations. Hold them in Boston. Defences once more in Cairo. Alright then. Do we get anything more interesting? So we can open a trail. Treasury, yeah, I can raise some taxes. Everyone loves that taxation, running a negative inflation rate. Which is actually probably a bad thing, but the game thinks it's a good thing. Actually, one of the significant reasons that the Confederacy failed to control inflation was due to the fact that it never based the value of its currency on anything. So, for example, they could have exchanged one Confederate dollar for X amount of cotton, but they never did that. And that actually hampered private enterprise, funnily enough, because if you exchange your money for cotton, then you'll have private smugglers who'll try and move in and get your cotton out just, you know, for the profit that they can earn speculating on it, which meant that Confederate blockade runners, which could have been used to smuggle back arms, kind of found themselves having to run cotton, which they weren't really effective at. Anyhow, Confederate defeat. Yeah, they're fighting me in Dover. Confederate victory in Lawrence. Man, they're really trying to get in there. Oh dear. Yeah. Well, it was always going to happen. They're fighting me in Vicksburg? Okay. Not sure technically we won that. Fort Gaines. Yeah, they messed up here pretty bad. Battle of Fredericksburg. Harper's Ferry. Oh, they did try and hit Harper's Ferry. Alright, let's see if we can deceive the enemy. Man, we are badly outnumbered. Not enough troops. I had realised it would be this bad, I would never have held here. What? They're trying to hit here as well? No. Massed fire. That's much more like it. Sort of looking at Fredericksburg, wondering how we can hold. Actually, Hunger's here, we can pop him up for that. That was bad. We do have some garrison troops here. Can't believe McDowell got us like that. Just gotta get in there as Magruder. I'll reinforce. Going on? News from Liverpool, building the CSS Alabama. Our purchasing agent reported that there are no iron ships in England that can carry the weight of big guns, but he has arranged a contract with two eminent builders for a gun vessel each. Right. Be driven away from the south forever. Today in Richmond, President Davis proclaimed the banishment of foreigners who did not recognise the government of the Confederacy, to purify our citizenry so that only those who profess loyalty may now remain. Congress resolved that all males 14 years or older who are citizens or residents of the United States and did not become citizens of the Confederate States would be subject to arrest, imprisonment, and deportation. Those who wished to shed their alien status could take an oath of allegiance to the Confederacy, and those who did not wish to do so were guaranteed a period of safety to leave. Well, for all of those who hate that the Union temporarily abolished habeas corpus, I'll put it to you this way. At least they never turned the domestic population into refugees by act of law, at least. Okay, what do we have? We got demonstrations again. Maybe hold them in Baltimore. We can develop the territories. So we'll develop Massilia. Right. Whoa, so we got some supply troubles here. Man, we got some bad supply troubles here. I think I overloaded this area. I forgot to build supplies. So supply situation here. Alright, I'll keep pressing on Albuquerque. Okay. Let's also hit these guns. We do have food here. Let's secure these outer locations. I'll go passive. Move on Mound City. What else have we got? So, signal company. Oh. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, bang bang, looks like we overran the guns. Ow, that hurt. That did a little better. We took the town. We took some pretty nasty losses doing it. Texas Ranger. All right. Gathering the gear for another depot. Cooper's here, alright. So I think I'll go a lighter defence for Longstreet's area. It looks pretty good. Checking over here again. Okay, so the Cairo garrison is out of food. Probably maneuver these guys around. Right, signal company's ready as well. Done. Inlines forces moved up. Okay, Halleck's moved up near Bloomington. Man, oh man. What if I were to just take that one? Great. Oh boy. Wait, Longstreet can be promoted. Great. Promotion well earned, sir. Promotion well earned. Honestly, I might abandon Strasbourg entirely. What is there to fix up? Okay, so we need more light infantry, need more light guns. Lots more light infantry. Okay. So one more double check. Oh, we can get some demonstrations in. Let's do it in Washington. It's not like the police can stop us. Black lives matter, y'all. Especially when they're slaves. Oh dear. So I'm going to have to engage that desperately. This is too early for the invasion of New Orleans. What's going on out Santa Fe way? Securing the area pretty nicely. Let's move up on the stockade. More demonstrations. New York, which is good because the Union's upgrading it. Suffolk as well, Boston. Richmond 100% Confederate. Norfolk. Yeah, upgrade Norfolk with defensive works. Trails. Haven't secured anywhere that needs a trail yet. Look at war production. Could use some more light infantry. Don't really need more cavalry. Need more light guns as always. I'm not going to waste money on coastal fortifications yet. Have a quick look up north. What the heck's going on out here? Alright, so there are some Union troops about. what? So it looks like we've ran out of ammo there. Alright, well I gotta get back then. Gotta beat feet quick. Luck, maybe we can rescue the garrison at some point. Okay, we took Shawnee. How long till the supply wagon gets there? Still a while. Could move up on Union. I might do just that. Got to take back Dallas at some point. Okay. Oh dear. I think we might need to start evacuating. Okay. Let's get some supply wagons up. More production. Okay. Hardy and Bragg are here, so is Van Dorn. Great. Okay, there's Hardy. Here's Johnson, that's good as well. Back down south, good, so we should just be able to keep pressure on them. Here we go. They've taken Harper's Ferry again. Ooh. What is going on? No, my supplies. So Van Dorn won't activate for another turn or so. Do have a supply train that can come up. So I might build an outpost here. Everything as it should be. We can enable division commands now. Well, that's all at least for now. It looks like we can make a push on St. Louis, and I'll probably try to do that either this turn or very, very shortly. Texas incursion around Dallas hasn't become too much of a problem. And when Byler decides to wake up with his force, we'll start moving on Santa Fe. All in all, the position is pretty strong. We failed to hold Harper's Ferry. We did hold Manassas. Morgantown will need to be evacuated soon. However, we've completely wrong-footed the Union, and they'll have to do a lot of plodding around through these mountains if they want to use that road